This is just Jared. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
This is Bryce, and this is BB-8.
And I'm Joshua B. Easy. And this is the Takeoff Anytime podcast. All right. Episode 20. We are made it to a milestone in the Takeoff Anytime history.
Yeah, we need strippers and a cake.
Oh, yes, we would. That'd be
Is it weird that the cake sounds better than the strippers to me right now?
That's because you're married.
That's because I'm hungry. Dude, when you guys leave, after this episode is done, I'm eating.
It's like you got low blood sugar or something.
It's like I'm a fat kid on the inside, which is totally true.
You might be, though.
Pretty much.
You're trans fat.
What?
Trans fat.
That didn't even make any sense. Was that supposed to make sense?
It does
not
make
to
sense.
me.
Okay, me neither.
How does it not make sense? Like
Trans fat?
Like, you know that whole like transgender thing first started happening? Everybody was like, I'm trans cat, trans this, trans that.
What the fuck?
So you believe that you should be a fat person because you eat like a fat person? But
Wow, that's a
skinny?
stretch.
But trans fat just happened to be funny because there's actually trans fat.
You
in
know
food.
what's nice about this moment
What?
is that for once me and Josh aren't the ones saying stupid shit.
Look, man, I say a lot of stupid shit. You can't agree with
That's why we all get along, because we all say stupid shit that just doesn't make any sense.
None. And I bet everybody's going to look at this part of the episode and be like, what the fuck was he talking about?
It's almost like we're all married to each other.
That'd be a horrible marriage.
I'm the giver.
I guess I'm the
You're
watcher.
the pitcher.
I guess I'm the watcher if I have to be there.
Does that make me the
I
catcher?
don't want to be the watcher. Yeah, you're
I don't want to be the catcher.
You're not the pitcher because Josh already got it.
Yep.
This is just very turned to very prison-y.
I'm the one that just like cleans up. I don't want to be anything else if I got to be in the situation at all.
All right, this is heading to
Anyway,
a
that
dark
segues
place.
into our topic for today.
Does it?
Kinda.
It was supposed to.
All right, go ahead.
As in, like, you guys are the one that clean up. I'm the... Anyways.
We need to work on our segues.
So I think our goal today is to convince Josh not to get married. I'm sorry, Jess. That wasn't on purpose, but that's what's going to happen.
You might want to say sorry to your wife.
Baby, I love you. I'm going to marry you and make you the happiest woman on the face of this planet. So don't listen to this motherfucker.
On the face. Just the face, not the backside of the planet. Just the... That's two dumb jokes. I'm gonna get like 8 more in there before this is over. I just want to let y'all know.
We're going to have to like put a limit on them.
Yeah, just put a count on the end of the
Anyways.
We're going to get a chalkboard put right behind us.
Today, we're going to talk on a completely man perspective of love and marriage. Okay? We have 3 different perspectives here. Jared as a divorcee.
Yeah.
Bryce as a currently married. And I am the to be married. All right? So.
Keyword on currently for me, by the way.
Yeah, the roles are going to change here soon.
Pretty soon I'll be with Jared over here.
I know, right?
I'm tempting fate. I'm tempting fate by making these jokes, I think.
I thought you meant tempting fate as in being with Jared. I'm like, oh, shit.
That would be tempting fate if that was real. But it's not. I think we need to swing off the gay jokes for somebody to think we're actually gay.
I mean, you are the one with the tight-ass pants over there, so.
They ain't tight, man. They form-fitting.
Oh, look at the shirt.
That's the thing,
I'm
though.
fat. My shirt kind of.
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't get mad at me. I did a couple push-ups.
That's the thing, though. Jared and I are usually the ones making the gay jokes, and you're the one who takes them way too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Oreo jokes. I mean, if we want the Oreo jokes to stop, we really got to stop putting me in the middle.
But that's not gonna stop happening.
Right, because we're the ones that's handling the audio,
The hardware,
and the video.
I mean, I could sit in the middle. I just don't want to sit in the middle.
But then the computer going to be right there. Okay, this is just pointless.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what we talk about here? Oh yeah, marriage.
Love and marriage.
Marriage. So I guess to start it off, what's the experience with marriage?
Well, what? Okay, Bryce is the one that's having the gripe today, so I guess you can start this off.
Yeah. You should probably start. I'll chime in to save you from
Okay,
getting
so
divorced.
So let me put a spin on it. So when you and your spouse, past tense, had disagreements, how did it usually play out? How was it usually handled?
I mean, it really depends on the disagreement. For me, it was like, if it was a new disagreement, it'll be more of like a silent treatment, you know?
Okay.
It'd be more like...
From you or from her or both?
From her.
Okay.
I'm very, I wouldn't say boisterous, but I'm very voiceful. You know, I talk when something is wrong. you know. But she was very like, if she felt like it wasn't going to be fixed or wasn't worth talking about it, she just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, so it would take forever for it to build up, and then eventually I would get upset, and then I would do something stupid like punch a wall or, you know, throw something, because that's just how I react. And then she would like go off the hinge because I guess she built it up for like 7 days.
I got you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't say that I'm that different. I mean, Sarah's definitely an introvert in every sense of the word. I'm an extrovert in many senses of the word. And generally, she doesn't like to talk about stuff, serious stuff, argue. I mean, no, I don't like to argue either, but I generally won't leave it alone. I want to talk it out. I want to figure out what the hell's going on. But after being together with somebody for over a decade, you also know when you guys are going to be able to meet halfway and when you aren't. And it's frustrating when you feel like you're just never going to meet halfway, because it's like, what's the point? What's the point in fighting, because there's not going to be any kind of positive outcome from it.
Right.
Oh, sorry. I had to fix
something. So I guess my point is, sometimes I'll bring it up, but if it's something that we fought about before, usually I'll just sit there and stew.
That's funny because
make passive aggressive comments.
My fiance and I, we're all over the place. Sometimes we can talk sensible about something, or sometimes because I guess I'm more the yeller in this relationship, but I'll get pissed off something that she says or the way she said it. I'm the one who start to yell for a second, and then I'll try to catch myself because I see her pulling away, and I try to calm down and talk better. You know what I'm saying? Because I know from past experiences, and I know myself that I'm kind of quick to react in a way, and I know that the type of woman that she is, I need to not be so aggressive with her.
Right.
So I need to control the way that I speak to her.
I think it really comes down to a learning experience. Because, I mean, when you get into a relationship, especially a marriage, it's like you don't, for me, you don't really know who you're getting married to, in a sense. And what I mean by that is, like, you know the basis of a person. You know your experiences that you've been through with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like marriage always brings on the realest things. And then that's when you really figure out who you're with.
I think that's because, I mean, never mind marriage, but specifically to marriage in our cases, you get married, you live with somebody, and even if you've lived with them before, if they're not being the truest version of themselves, that's only going to last for so long. You can only live with somebody for so long before you revert to whoever you are at your core, for better or for worse.
Right.
That's true.
You only can keep the facade up for so long.
And I mean, hopefully there isn't a facade, but I think in a lot of cases, you'll learn little things. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're big, about your significant other in the process of living with them that you never knew before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I've really noticed that I've learned in my current relationship is the fact that like I said, I really have to tone down and fall back on me being the real person that I am. The first thing that comes to mind is a lot of time isn't the smartest thing for me to say.
Right.
As you guys know, who may watch a podcast, understand that I may say some dumb shit, and that's because I may say it without really thinking before I actually say it. And in my relationship, I have to tone that down. You know what I'm saying? I cannot be. I'm an asshole to everybody, including my fiance. Maybe a little bit more than what I should be. But I tone it down because I don't want to be as much of an asshole to her, and I gotta say it and deliver it in a better way, which is a life lesson. I should do that to everybody, but everybody.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, everybody I don't give a fuck about. So
everybody doesn't deserve your kindness.
Yeah.
God damn it! What is it with me and him? See, last time I was getting on Josh for constantly touching stuff. The time before, Josh was mad at Bryce touching stuff, and I can't stop hitting this damn thing today.
Turn.
I know. I'm gonna put my hands under my goddamn ass and not fucking move.
That'll be an interesting sight. Just seeing you sitting on your hands for a full episode.
What is it? You got cold hands? Yeah.
It's like you're on a road trip and we're telling you to quit get your hands out of the window.
Stop touching the window. It's a cold breeze.
See, but here's the thing. Like, we talked about knowing each other, but it almost... This is going to sound so backwards, but it almost sucks when you do know a person so well, because I love my wife, and she's going to hate me for saying this.
Oh, shit.
But I know when she is about to cry, and I know that she's a very sensitive person, and I can be planning on having a very serious conversation with her, not a fight, not yelling, not anything like that, but just the sheer fact that we're discussing something serious. You know, her chin will start doing that thing where it dimples, and it trembles, and it's like, I can tell you're about to cry, and in no way, shape, or form was that the goal.
Yeah, you start feeling bad for even having a conversation because you see
it makes me dread. It makes me dread trying to have a serious conversation at all.
Yeah, me too.
You know what's funny? In my marriage, I was actually the more sensitive person. I knew I was too, because I got emotional.
You a little
quick.
bitch.
I was thinking that too.
No, man, because I'm a type of person that wear my heart on my sleeve. If something bothers me, like, you can see it in my face automatically. I am not a person to ever be able to hide any emotion.
I'm the same way. I can't hide what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and my thing is, I can shrug off everything just about, but I can't shrug off the same thing happening over and over, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to a point where I feel like I can't hold it in anymore, and I just go full, like, you know, like morning soaps. I'm like crying and punching walls, you know, and I'm doing stuff like, you know, I'm a type of person, like, I would try to make my wife feel bad. Like, that's just was me.
I think that a lot of couples do that, even if you don't admit it, though. I think there's a subconscious, like, when you're pissed off, that's like you and it's at them. It's like you want to know you're pissed off at them, even if it's just subtle.
Yeah, it's like you see me pissed off, right? And that's the thing. And I'm not saying it's all women, but I just know my ex was very good at not giving a fuck about my emotions. Was very, very good at, like, you know, not paying attention to the fact, like, because I could sit down and be like, look,
see,
I want to have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then she'll keep looking straight ahead at the TV.
Like,
you know,
she don't give a fuck.
See, I hate that.
I think one thing about my fiance, I think I've started to notice when something's on her mind, you know, and I'll say, babe, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. And she'll take like literally like a minute or two before the first word even comes out, because I think she knows the issue that's bothering her. If she tells it to me, it's gonna piss me off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we're gonna argue about it, and she doesn't want to argue, so therefore she doesn't want to bring it up. But I feel like it needs to come up, because if you don't tell me, I can't fix it.
My wife does the same thing. So yeah, that's that. But on the flip coin, I'm also more like your ex-wife, where, and not if I'm mad at her or anything. If I'm just mad in general, she does know me well enough to know, even no matter how monotone I'm trying to be, no matter how stoic I'm trying to be, she'll say, you know, what's going on. And there are a lot of times, especially if it's not about her. If it's not about her, I'm actually less likely to talk about it.
Right. Because
I'm internalizing it still. I'm still trying to deal with it myself. So, you know, there'll be times that, you know, I'm dealing with, you know, a fallout with, you know, certain family members. We've talked about that in the past. And she'll ask me, and, you know, something will happen that day that'll bring, you know, rehash the situation, and see me sitting on the couch and say, what's wrong? And I'll say, I just don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah. I mean,
and it'll come up either later that night or the next day. But
see, I never mind that. Like, you know, because you're kind of how my ex was. Like, she'll hold on to things. Then I can tell that something's bothering her, but she'll never tell me until like some time later. And it's just one of those things you have to be like, okay, well, I know this person needs their time.
See, that's where I'm such a hypocrite, though, because if Sarah did the same thing, I would want her to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then when I'm dealing with something, I don't want to talk about
it.
But
I don't really think that's being hypocritical, if you ask me, because everyone is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, everybody deals with it different.
Yeah, like Sarah might be the person that needs you to approach her, because, you know, she might not be the one willing to say, okay, this is bothering me right out the back, and she might want you to understand that she is feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, but for you, it's different. It's you. She can be like, oh, he's having an issue. I'm just going to assure him that whenever he wants to talk, I'm here, but I'm not going to press the issue.
Yeah, I think for me, it really depends on the topic, because I have noticed that, you know, when I get into argument with my baby moms, you know, my first daughter's mother, a lot of times I won't just come out and talk about it because I don't want to even give this person
that kind of control over a part of your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep bringing it up and like even bring her down because I know what my first daughter's mom does affects me so much, and it affects my fiance too.
And you feel, I'm guessing that you feel like that's your burden to bear, not hers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, that's a very unique situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't, of course, I don't have any kids, so, and she didn't have any kids before me, so we didn't have to worry about that, you know, that whole situation.
And that's something that Josh definitely has unique to this podcast.
Yeah, but one thing I would say, I gotta stop feeling like I was the wrong, like I was the party of the marriage that was doing all the horrible stuff. But it's like I don't think for me and my ex, I think a big issue that we had is that the fact that we weren't attached to our families equally. Like she had a smaller unit of people that she was attached to it as opposed to me. Because if anybody knows me personally from Lansing, like half of Lansing is my family. You know what I'm saying?
Like literally.
Yeah, literally half of Lansing is my family. It's just the way it is. You know? So I have a big attachment to wanting to be back, to want to see them. You know what I'm saying? But when we would go see her family, it was more just like her brother, her sister, her close friends. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, and it always irritated me. So I had a lot. I take on. I'm the type of person that I take on a lot more than I should. So when like somebody else was having an issue, I took that on. You know what I'm saying?
You just, sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to do that.
No, go ahead.
You just made me realize something kind of unique, actually. So Sarah and I feel like she needs her family more than I need mine. Mm-hmm. But in our day-to-day lives, she is she would be more than fine on a Friday night just hanging out at home. Mm. Whereas me, I'm trying to do stuff with friends. You know, I'm getting together with you guys. I'm getting together with Tim. You know, I'm getting together with my friends Cody, and you know, going for bike rides and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's just funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that me and my fiance have in common is the fact that, you know, we don't fuck with a lot of people like that. You know, for me and my fiance, the only parent that we have out of the both of us is my mother. Mm. You know, both her biological parents, you know, are passed, and the people who raised her, as of right now, she's not in the best speaking terms with them. You know, and my father died when I was 19, and I never even had a close relationship with any of my grandparents. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my closest friends, I have less than 5-6 friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, the same thing for her. So, like, us sticking to ourselves is what we like to do, even though she is more of an extrovert than I am, per se. Mm-hmm. You know, because she does get bored with staying in the house and being boring like me, you know, but we still are very, very similar in that regard.
See, I feel like a second ago, though, when I was explaining the way Sarah and I are with our families, like I feel like I was left out an important part because I don't feel like I need my blood family like she feels like she needs hers. But where I said I'm an extrovert, you know, the people that I'm extroverted with are my family. Right. You know, once again, going back to you guys and Tim, you know, like I need you guys like she needs her mom. Right. That's the thing.
Right. Amen.
And that's the thing.
And that sounded cheesy, but I'm not afraid to say it.
No, I feel
but that's one of those things you have to think about. In hindsight, I can think about everything. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie. When a divorce first happened, I was like, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Hope she falls in the volcano, you know. Right. Like you know, but you know that's you know that's what happened, and I'm hoping that people who are married don't have to go through a divorce because it's a horrible situation to have to go through because you really figure out how much you love and how much you hate a person at the same time.
Yeah,
and what I mean by that is you find out how much you love a person for how much it hurts over the whole situation. Like I remember, I remember times, and I'm gonna be honest, I would just break down. Like I'd be at work and I'd just cry, you know what I'm saying? Or I had to excuse myself, or I couldn't be around couples because it would just like break me.
Like a reminder of what you lost.
Yeah. But then it would be other times I remember how much I hate her because when something came up, you know, that I could do for her, I totally went left. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, fuck me and fuck you. But I felt the same way from her because it was, I'm saying, the shadiest thing I've ever learned that people do, the shadiest thing she ever did to me, there's been a lot of shady shit, but the shadiest shit was when we were going to file taxes. Last year, this is when we were separated, right? Mm-hmm. And and I called her one day because she's supposed to give me money for like some type of alimony because she was in the military or whatever, and I wasn't, because I had got out for her and stuff. And she was telling me, she can't pay me right now. She got to pay all this money for taxes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I understand. Maybe we can work out something, and you can give me the money later. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But that was my way of thinking it. Mm-hmm. But then when I went to go file taxes, they was like, yeah, you owe, $1,400. At this time, I didn't have $1,400. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I'm going through a divorce. All this stuff that we had together is now separated. I'm trying to figure out how this money works just on my salary alone now. And I remember I called her and I said, hey man, they telling me I got to pay $1,400 for these taxes, and I understand you have to pay this much money, but if we come together just for this last time to do taxes, we don't have to be in the same room. We ain't got to file taxes at the same time. He said he'll bring up the file and let you come at another time. And then whatever money we get back from the refund, you can keep it. I just don't want to pay taxes. Right. And she was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm fine. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because why would you do that when you had to pay money just like me? And she was like, no, I'm fine. Yeah. I'll pay my own.
I was in a similar situation with my first daughter's mom. On the downside of our relationship, when our daughter was first born, mm-hmm. she claimed her on her taxes, and she got back like almost $4,000. You know what I'm saying? Just for claim. I think it was like $3,000 something and everything. And at the time we were living together still, but I was the one taking care of all the bills. And she get back all this money, and I'm struggling, and I'm behind on my bills and everything. Our bills that we're fucking living in the same house together, and instead of her catching us back up in the household bills, she didn't. She kept all that fucking money
just for herself.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, first off, half that fucking money is mine.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's my daughter. And she was like, well, fuck you.
See, and that's what I mean, man, because I tell people all the time when they go into marriages, I go, be very careful, and it's not that it's not that I'm setting some type of omen up. I'm not hoping for the demise of their marriage. I'm just saying, because when when stuff hits the fan, that's when people start to show their true colors. Mm-hmm. As people start to really like become defensive and all about themselves. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was going through my divorce, like I said, I was still trying to be civil. Mm-hmm. I was trying, I was like, look, we got this timeshare. I didn't want it, but you wanted it. But now I have to pay for it because it's in my name. Mm-hmm. Why don't we split that? Why don't we do our taxes together? Why don't we come together and work out a plan, because all these bills that we have? And she's like, no, you take your money, you go get your own loans, you take your car, take my name off your car, all this type of stuff, like instantly within the first week. Like she's the type of person that, and now that I think about it, that I had a lot of time to think about it. It still hurts the way she went about it, but I can kind of understand. Not to say that it was right. I can just understand why she did it, because she wanted to cut the ties immediately. Right. And she knew I still was hanging on. You know what I mean? For as bad as our relationship was in the end, I still wanted to make it work. But I was under the idea that something was going to work out, because, like I said, before she told me that she wanted to separate, we literally got this timeshare. Yeah. So I was like, why get this timeshare when you're just going to break up with me? When you're just going to leave me? It makes me go back all the time and think, damn, did she really just set me up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I tell people all the time, like, you have to be, like, you have to have a very strong heart in marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a lot of days you're going to want to punch each other in the goddamn face. Like, it really is, man. It's going to be a lot of times you're going to just want to get up and grab your shit and roll. You know how many times I wanted to just leave? You know what I'm saying? But I had to keep thinking about it. No, this is my wife. We're married. We started this family, and I did all these sacrifices, and I'm here. But people don't think like that, man. People think a lot of times marriage is just for the, for the wedding, for the reception, and then they think it's going to be, rainbows and butterflies, but it's just not. It's going to be a lot of times where you're just like, God damn it, why don't you die so I can collect the insurance money? You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Using not that last part as a segue, but just kind of that general topic, relationships and money in general. I find that especially when people get married, that's when I think money causes a lot of problems, and I think it causes people to break up. And honestly, I think it's because some people realize that some people don't have any self-control when it comes to spending.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't I say that money is 80% of why marriages fail?
I would believe it. I would seriously believe it.
Right.
But I will say this: that is one thing that Sarah and I have no problem on. And I'll even say the way that we do our money. So Sarah and I, we actually, no matter how much money we're making, we put the same amount into bills. There was a time period where I made more money than her. There was a time period where she made more money than me. Now we're making about the same. But we actually have our own checking accounts, and then we have our bill account, and then we have our savings. And basically, we each put the same amount of money in the bill account to pay the bills, and then we give ourselves $200 every week for gas, groceries, and then anything left over is just money we can spend on ourselves. And then anything beyond that goes into the savings, and then the savings goes sort of like house projects and stuff like that.
That's smart.
And her mom actually, when she was explaining that to her mom, thought that was crazy that we keep our checking account separate, and that we put equal money in the bill account. And it's like, you know what, it works. It really does.
Do you guys have access to each other's checkings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she can see, and with big stuff that we spend, let's say that's something beyond the normal amount, like, obviously in the Takeoff launch pad, we got a whole bunch of my collectibles back here, and I won't lie, they're not cheap, but every single one of them, I don't have to ask Sarah for permission, but because I think it's the right thing to do, right, I'll ask her, hey, I was thinking about spending $50 on this. Is that okay?
Out of respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of those things. I mean, people think it's crazy because we keep our money separate, but neither one of us is suspicious of each other. Neither one of us spends a stupid amount of money without telling the other person.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, honestly. I did that when I was married. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we thought about, we had a joint account in terms of no, we didn't have a joint account in terms of, we didn't. You know what I'm saying? We kept everything separate. Yeah. For the simple fact, she wanted to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do. Mm-hmm. And I wanted a lot of things that she didn't want. You know what I'm saying? And we always, I guess in the back of our mind, during the second or third year, we started realizing we may have an issue. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we started just kind of, it sucks to say now, but I really understand that we started to look out for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm not saying that's what you and Sarah are doing, but it's I understand, because it also shows you how much weight you're actually pulling. You know what I mean? Because if we're constantly going to the same account, then we don't know, who's doing what, who's putting in what. You know what I'm saying? But if it shows oh, you're sacrificing this much, you're holding off your money this much, you're holding off this money, then we're in the middle. Yeah. As opposed to, because me and my ex, we didn't meet in the middle. It was she paid the rent because her job paid her money to have our rent because she was in the military, but I paid the phone bill.
Was it a case of whoever made more paid more kind of thing?
Nah, see, no? That's the weird thing, because when I was actually married, like I said, I had got out the military for her. Yeah. I got the military for her. I moved a couple times. Had to leave my friends behind. And that was one of the reasons why I was hurt in the end, because it was damn, you do not see how much I'm sacrificing to be in this relationship. But, it was never with staying with the money, it was never okay, we make this much together, we should put this much in. It was no. And then she always made more than me. She didn't believe it, but she did. Yeah. But I honestly paid more than she did. Yeah. But a lot of times she was put money towards her vacation because she liked to travel a lot. But my money went back into us.
See, that was something, is that even when one of us did make more, which, like I said, there was a couple times where we would make, that was a nice thing about our system, is whoever made more just put more money into the savings, and the savings was spent on stuff like the house that we both get to benefit from. So it wasn't whoever made more money got to spend more money on themselves. Even with our tattoos, we're pretty heavily tattooed, and I spent roughly around $1,500 on my leg tattoo, and I wanted to get more tattoos, and we had the money, but it's not fair of me to spend all of our extra money on tattoos. So then Sarah got some tattoos, and so we kind of even it out. The hardest part, though, I will say about our system was there was one or two Christmases where she was making significantly more money than me. and I felt like I was buying her Christmas presents with her money. That's what it felt like. And I hated that. That was the one time that I hated that.
I can understand that because I can definitely understand. That's one thing I never had to feel because when I went to go buy my ex something, it was literally just the fact that it was literally coming out of my money.
Yeah.
It was what I wanted. I didn't ask her for anything. It was no joint account I pulled it from. It was just, hey, I saved up this much money.
Yeah.
For you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's usually how we try to do it.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I think money in marriage really shows a person's true intentions a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said before, like I'm gonna be totally honest. I mean, if it gets back to her, it gets back to her. But I felt like I was completely in. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't name any names.
Yeah,
you're completely in. What do you mean?
I was completely into my marriage.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, man. I lost a great career. You know what I'm saying? I got a degree in California in audio engineering, then left California to go follow her to our next place. And that kills my network, that kills my friends, that I had.
Yeah.
Especially since California is the capital of engineering, audio engineering.
Yeah, it's the capital of like anything media and creative,
Yeah.
So it became one of those situations where like I kept feeling like, well, damn, am I the only person sacrificing here? You know what I'm saying? And I understand she had a career and, given that she was in the military, it's a very particular career you have to follow. But I was all in because I understood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I never got that back. I never felt like I got that sacrifice back. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, damn, like when are you gonna meet me in the middle in all of this? And that's how I felt about the finances, because I started realizing when I gave her a card, because we both gave each other cards to each other bank accounts, right? And I gave her just a credit card. You know what I'm saying, to my credit card. And I was like, look, only use this when you need to use this. You know what I mean? And then, and she gave me her card. And every time I had to use it, I was like, hey, I'm about to use your card. Is that okay? And she's like, yeah. She's like, what are you buying? And I was like, I'm just buying some socks. And she goes, okay. You know what I'm saying? Fair enough. But I remember one time she went to California, and then I was going through my statements, and I seen this, this charge for $500. And I'm like, yo, what's up with this charge? I didn't pay for this. She's like, oh yeah, I went to Vegas. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was like, so
heads up.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I thought you were just going to California. I didn't know you were going to Vegas. And I go, well, where'd the $500 go? She go, oh, well, I use your credit card to get to Vegas. But I spent my own money when I was there.
Okay.
And then the thing is, I wasn't so upset at the fact
did she ever explain
that she
why
used
she
it.
did that?
She said she used it because she didn't have the money. See,
but she had the money to spend when she got to Vegas.
But she had the money to spend, yeah. And that was the thing that irritated me.
Did she tell you how much money she spent when she was there?
It wasn't $500.
It wasn't $500.
It wasn't $500 because she didn't even stay the night there. But it was one of those. See, the money thing wasn't even a big issue to me. It was more of like a trust thing. Like,
yeah.
Like why didn't you just tell me? Why didn't you just tell me? I wouldn't have cared that it was $500. But shit,
it was like, why'd you go to the one place in the United States where prostitution is legal?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Why does that matter?
In Nevada. No, it was a joke.
It was a cheating joke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it was like, see, it's like, why don't you just tell me? And then she got so defensive over the idea that I made her feel wrong for doing it. She's like, oh, well, you gave me a card, so I was like, yeah, that card was for emergencies.
It's not for free reign.
Yeah, I don't even use my credit card for that. Now my credit card bill is high now because of situations, but at the time it was like, no, I use that credit card just for emergencies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then when sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, when she finally paid me back, she was like really pissy about it. Like really pissy. Like, here's your $500 back.
Like, bitch, you owed it to me.
I know, it's my money. Like,
paid you back in all pennies.
Yeah, man. Like my daughter's mom, my first daughter's mom, she always want to throw up in my face that she paid for my test to get my CDL. Because I failed my first test, right? Okay. And then I didn't have the money for the retake. So I went to her. I was like, hey, you owe me this money. You got it. Can I have it back so I can pay for my retake? And she gave me the money back that she owed me, for that retake. It wasn't that she paid for it. Bitch, you owe me the money.
Yeah, but just how she looked at it was fucked up. Huh?
Right.
Yeah,
you know, and even to this day, you know, even in court, you know, she always want to throw that shit up. Well, I paid for you to, you know, to get your license. I'm like, no, the fuck you didn't. Yeah. You owe me the fucking money.
Yeah, that was an IOU back.
Yeah,
right. Well, that interestingly enough, I think is a good segue to careers in marriage.
Yeah.
So the only thing I have about careers in marriage is, I will say this, and I don't mean this to sound as negative as it's going to say. If I wasn't married, if I wasn't with Sarah, if I wasn't committed, I feel like I would have taken more chances musically with my artistical career, because I would not have had as much to lose.
Yeah.
Because if I put myself out on the streets, that's just myself.
Yeah.
But if I went forward and fell on my face, I'm not just putting myself on the streets. That's a burden on Sarah, and I didn't want that burden to be her responsibility.
Yeah.
So I feel like I never went all out like I wanted to.
Yeah, that's something that I'm kind of currently struggling with me and my fiance. You know, the fact that, you know, I'm a truck driver right now and I'm making so much money, but I want to transition into being, you know, a full-time audio engineering and, you know, producing, and stuff. And I know that at least the initial drop off is going to be significant compared to what I'm making right now, even though eventually I can make much more than what I'm doing, what I'm making now. But that drop off, you know, is what's going to hurt me. And with me about to get married, and with me trying to get a house and
have another kid,
and like I'm trying to provide for me and my fiance, I don't necessarily want to take that drop without her having, you know, a better income to support us if need be.
Yeah, right. That was actually, I said the only thing was the music thing, but that's not true. When I left the grocery store where I was making $45,000 a year, I took a pretty significant pay cut. And I felt I needed it for my own mental health, and I needed it so that I could have a life of my own. But for the longest time, and even a little bit to this day, it still bugs me, because it's like, I'm the reason why we can't have a more lavish lifestyle. And it makes me feel like shit as a provider, as a husband, because I couldn't just put up with working that shitty job and making more money. I'm the reason we don't have as much money.
Right.
See, but I wouldn't say that though, Bryce, because you got to think about your own personal happiness.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously I know that,
right.
but there's still that instinctful part where it's like, you know, you have that idea in your head of, oh, I'm the man, I'm supposed to be the provider.
Yeah.
You know, and even though I knew, and Sarah was great, you know, she completely understood. And I mean, she started making more money, you know, she got a better job, and that, you know, first I made more money, then she made more money, and she was completely understanding. But what really made it hard is when the job that she was making more money at, when it started to get harder, and this is her last job, so this is part of the reason why she left. When her job started getting harder, that's when it started to hit me again, like, I'm the reason that you're in this shitty position, because you had to make more money so I could make less money.
Right.
And now she's making less money than she was before, but now we're both happy. It's funny, both of us are in positions where we're making less money, but we're happier.
See, but that's the thing in the end. Though.
Yeah,
that's the thing in the end, though. You got to think about, you know.
Oh yeah, long-term plan.
Yeah, you think about long-term.
Yeah.
So I don't think Sarah would look down on you for doing that. You know, even though y'all went through that time where, you know, it was definitely harder for her. But I mean, it's a learning experience, because when you're married, like, you have to be all in for each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you really have to be like, okay, this is what you want to do. Yeah, this is what I want to do.
You got to be each other's crutch in a way.
You have to be, because that's the thing, man. A lot of times, and I learned, especially in mine, like a marriage doesn't work if someone's not sacrificing. You know what I'm saying? At least one person has to sacrifice. Because what I mean by that is, say you wanted to go and try the music career, right? That means Sarah would have to sacrifice being here. You know, she had to sacrifice seeing you. You know, because you'll be moving around a lot, you know, making moves. You know, she probably sacrifice even more time like that, you know. Maybe even sacrifice her own time to make sure she can support you in doing that. But that also shows a dedication, you know.
That reminds me, because I feel like Sarah and I aren't sacrificing for each other anymore, but in a way we're sacrificing now. We're both sacrificing because we're not making as much money. But that reminds me of a seminar I saw one time where the guy said, every dollar more that you make is another moment of your time. You know, the money doesn't come without taking a part of your life elsewhere.
That's true.
And that's where it's like, you know, at first, you know, I felt like, you know, maybe I was sacrificing mentally to make more money, and then it turned around, Sarah was sacrificing in the same way. And now neither one of us is sacrificing mentally, but we are sacrificing financially.
Yeah. But I mean,
so to that, I'm agreeing with you to that point.
Yeah. See, and my thing is, and that's why I always felt like, you know, and I gotta keep going back to my relationship. I mean, you're talking to the divorce guy here, so you know, I'm gonna point out some things. You know, like I said, for my marriage, I was completely in. Mm-hmm. I understood, you know, the ramifications of every action. You know what I'm saying? I really did, even when I was younger. No,
keep going.
So, you know, when we both were in the military, I made the first sacrifice to get out because I didn't want to get separated from her. You know? You know, we both knew that. We know we didn't want to get separated. We had just got married, and deployments separate each other, and we didn't want that. Worst thing that could happen, one of us deploy, and then say if we don't make it back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I took the safe bet to say, look, I know what I want to do in life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I love the military, and to this day I still love it. I said, I love the military, but I can do other things because I have other passions, which was music. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So my sacrifice was, okay, I can get out, you know, stop my career here and try again, but at the same time support her. Now, when I went to California, like I said, I did stick to my plan. I got my degree. You know what I'm saying? Then that sacrifice came in again when she got another career moved, and we had to move to South Carolina.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when it started to hit me, because I was like, damn, I don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? But I knew how hard that job was for her, and I knew how hard it was going to be, and I knew I needed to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I left that behind. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother topic that I can't even speak on. Yeah. Because Sarah and I, the one thing that gets us along is there's very few jobs in this world that would make either one of us ever want to relocate away from our family and friends. Mm-hmm. And I understand professionally somebody's making that choice. It's just not one that I think Sarah and I could do. And I think from that perspective that you were just saying, if one person is more willing than the other to do that, oh, that's gotta be hard. Yeah. I mean, it puts you in a shitty position, because it's like, you know, do you say no to your wife and deny her career advancement, or do you say yes and deny yourself career advancement?
See, and that's what it came down to. But my idea was thinking, okay, I'm gonna keep sacrificing for her now. Yeah. Because later on, when this is all done, it'll be my turn. Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that was the plan. But, you know, when she started talking about going to Japan and stuff like that, you know, and I was like, no, you know, I don't want to go to Japan. You know, I've already given up my career. I've already held off too long. I want to go back to California, or I want to come back to Michigan. Yeah. And I want to try what I really want to do. Like, I think it's fair that you at least give me a couple of years to try. Right. You know, and she didn't get that because, I mean, along with my careers and my, you know, I gave up the fact that I wanted kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, I wanted kids bad when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a big thing for me in my relationship, is that me and my fiance both, we want to move out of Lansing, out of Michigan, really. And I have a very strong tie here because of my first daughter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, me being raised without a father, I cannot come to grips with leaving her. You know, so and my fiance, she'll never even ask me to do that. You know what I'm saying? She knows when we both, you know, love my daughter. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's like, we want to move, but that's a sacrifice where, like, I'm really not sure that I can even handle taking.
Right. See, and that's it's big, man. It's big. I think the only reason I was able to make that sacrifice, because, you know, like Bryce said earlier, you know, not having kids, I didn't have the attachments. You know what I'm saying? The attachment I did have was my family, and that hurt. You know what I'm saying? That hurt, the fact that I couldn't see my nephews, you know what I'm saying? Because now when I come back to Michigan, my nephew's 16, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him since he was 6, pretty much. And that hurt, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and the only time I was coming back in town was for funerals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I kept thinking, like, damn, like, don't you understand that I am missing on everything?
That's got to be a weird mental association. Oh, Jarrett's in town. Somebody died.
It was, dude. It was
literally like that.
Yeah, it literally was. For what, like 5 years or so?
Yeah, for a while.
If they seen me, it was because someone died. Mm-hmm.
Man.
Or I may have got in for a holiday.
Yeah, or for a birthday.
Yeah, or that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And it drove me crazy. It drove me, you know, up the wall to the point, and that's when I was saying I was holding in so much, and then one day I just let it all out on her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. She said, you know, I have to say this. I have to say this because it really shows my mental breaking point. After, you know, so we come back, and this is the point of my cousin died. You know what I'm saying? My closest cousin to me, one of my closest cousins, like literally, so, you know, always hung around each other since we were born. He dies, right? I go to a friend's house to stay at night with her, you know, and the next morning they wake me up and they're talking about, you know, we need to talk. And I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And they go, she needs to say something to you. Long story short.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, long story short, she tells me, now this is during the day that I have to go see my cousin, you know what I'm saying?
The funeral, but it was.
Yeah, to go see his body, you know, she tells me, she goes, I'm not in love with you, you know? And I thought like, damn, how cruel are you? You know what I'm saying? And that's what broke me. And that's what in the marriages I say, like, that's when you really see how evil people can be. I was like, at my lowest moment in my life, you gonna tell me that?
Yeah, you dropped that bomb on me.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say, like that right there will always make me weary to be in another marriage. It will always make me weary to be in a long-term relationship. Because now when I approach girls, I can't even talk to them seriously. Like, not that I take them for a joke. It's because I'm literally afraid, you know, a lot of times because that stigma, like.
Because you saw that somebody had that capacity to break you when you were already at your weakest.
Yeah. And I told myself, I even told my mom when I got back, I was like, Ma, I would never, ever be in a situation where someone can break me down like that again. Yeah. Never. You know, and a lot of times I come off as a dick lately because, you know, especially the women, but I'm just like, I would never be in that situation again because of that.
But that's the thing is, I mean, love, true love, and hopefully marriage, you really are you're making yourself vulnerable to another person, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Sarah and I, you know, truly in love, we both have that power to break each other like nobody else could.
Yeah.
And we both have given each other that power. And Josh and his fiance, you know.
I think that's a lot different because me and my fiance have the power to break each other, but it's the capacity to want to break each other. Yeah. Because I can say with my first daughter's mother, you know, she broke me when I felt like I was drowning. I feel like I didn't want to be where I was working anymore. I feel like my life and my career was going nowhere. I felt that her and my mom were always constantly arguing, and I was always stuck in the middle, and my daughter was always stuck in the middle, and she was a newborn at that time.
Yeah.
And like she didn't deserve that. And then from what was going on with that, me and her were fighting, you know, and I was the one who was like, I would try to talk some sense into her and try to reason with her and try to work things out with her. And I'm not trying to paint a bad picture of her, you know, really, but it was just like she was so uncompassionate for the things that was going on. And I was like, if you love me and like you say you do, and if you want to make these things work out, you know, then why won't you work with me? Yep. Why won't you see it from my point of view? Like, why won't you just give a little? You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm saying is that, you know, like me and my fiance now, we make and break each other, but we don't want to. Yeah. We want to uplift and we want to bring each other. Versus in my last relationship, she wanted to break me. She didn't care about bringing me up. She didn't care about pulling me out of that hole that she initially was the one putting me in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, she didn't have the same compassion for me, or I didn't feel that she had the same compassion for me as I had for her.
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost like, you know, the question pops up, you know, sometimes how do you define love? And, you know, short answer is, you know, it's not easy if doable at all, but this conversation kind of gave me an interesting, you know, insight to it. Is it's almost like, you know, when you're in love, when that other person has the ability to break you, and you know it's mutual when they don't.
Yep.
When they don't use that power to break you.
Yeah.
Man.
That's real. See, that's what people have to think about. I always tell people, when you're in a long-term relationship, it ain't even got to be a marriage, just a long-term relationship, like you're playing Frankenstein. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by
Frankenstein.
Yeah, you're playing Frankenstein. Like Frankenstein is a doctor. You know what I mean? A lot of people misconceive him for being the monster, but he's actually just a doctor.
Yeah, Victor Frankenstein, the doctor.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is like you're creating this person. Like you may not understand, but your actions, the way you treat them when they're down, you know what I'm saying? The way you uplift them at times or you don't uplift them, that all changes. That all impacts a person. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, at the end of my marriage, now I'm not even close to being the person that I was when that first started. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that I'm like just depressed all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact like now I'm more wary. Now I'm a lot more cautious. Now I'm not willing to open up my heart so quickly. You know what I'm saying? And that's all because I got hurt. That
Yeah.
What was it? Will Smith. It's weird to say this, but Will Smith says a line in one of his songs, "Just the Two of Us," that always resonates with me, especially after my divorce. It goes something like one day a girl's gonna break your heart. It ain't no pain like the feeling you get when a girl breaks your heart. He says that to his son. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And I never really thought about it. I just thought it was a slick line. You know what I'm saying? But it really, I have lost countless. I've lost a few family members. You know what I'm saying? I really have, and I've been through some horrible times, like being in the middle of Iraq and feeling so alone that I wanted to shoot myself. You know what I'm saying? But that divorce, or when she said that to me, was the worst thing I've ever felt in my life. Literally the worst. And I lost my dad when I was 14. You know what I'm saying? That's how, because I gave so much of my time, my effort, everything I had to this girl just for her to just dump me like nothing. And I was like, yo, if that's how the world is going to be, then fine. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm not going to play Mr. Nice Guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be a dick, but at the same time, I'm not going to be as open as you think. And I tell you all the time, that's why I say, like, you have to be very careful because you're not worried. You can't just worry about your emotions. That's why when you have that power, you in your marriage, you have to be willing not to use it. You have to be compassionate, man. You really do. Because that type of stuff is what breaks people.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So one thing I want to ask you guys, and I don't want to take forever because I don't want this episode to be too long.
Yeah.
But in marriage, how much did you guys' family play into your marriage?
My family played a lot indirectly, but not directly. Like, my family wasn't involved. My brothers didn't even go to the wedding. I remember that. That hurt. You know what I'm saying? My mom.
I remember that.
My mom, although she called me every day and I was always checked up on her. My ex never called my mom back. But my mom never took a trip out to come see us. And I always seen her mom, so that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think. I think her parents, her family was always around us. Like, I always seen her brother, always seen her mom, always seen her friends. You know what I'm saying?
But wasn't that a big thing because you guys were living closer to her parents? And
well, no, even when we were in California, like, they flew out and stuff.
Oh.
But it was one of those things like I didn't have the money to fly out my mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had switched jobs. I had changed up. And that's why I said, like, when we separated funds, like, she was using the money to save up or pay for her mom to come in. And I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it always made me feel like, dang, well, I miss my mom. Why don't you fly my mom out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So my family at the same time, besides my mom, never really checked on her. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really put in the effort to call her. So I could understand that. It takes two people to form a relationship. But at the same time, I felt like I was more willing to be in her family life because I would just randomly call her mom, just to say, hey, it's Wednesday. I just want to make sure you're okay. You know what I'm saying? But I never got that back, So I think directly it didn't play a part, but indirectly it meant everything.
For me, blood family, and for me, I have to make the distinction. I won't say they've never played a role, but I have no problem cutting people from my blood family if I don't feel like they respect my relationship or something like that. But what I will say is one of the things that it makes me want to cry even just thinking about it. I'm not gonna lie. That scares me is I think about what would happen with my not blood family. if I were to disappear, and I've actually kind of talked to Tim about this, and the same would go with you guys, because you guys, Josh, obviously you were one of my closest friends in high school, and Jarrett, you become one of my closest friends easily. If I think about if something were to happen to me, the scariest thing in my mind, the thing that would hurt me the most after death, is if you guys weren't still there for Sarah. And when I say you guys, I don't mean just you two, but
right.
You guys, Tim, Stacy, the people that I hold to be my true family. Like that's where, and bringing that back to your question, I want you guys to want to be there for Sarah. So that's where, your guys' opinion of who I'm married to does matter to me.
Damn, I never thought about it like that.
Hey, that's real though. I ain't gonna lie.
That's deep.
I ain't gonna lie, Josh. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you were talking about first proposing to Jessica, I had no negative feeling about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you would have said the same thing to me for your ex, I'd have been like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I would have understood your emotions, because I'm not a person to say you shouldn't get married based on somebody else's feelings, but I understand how that plays a part. I would have been like, look, if that's what you want to do, then fine. You know what I'm saying? But and I'm just being honest, when it comes to Jessica, I don't feel that same. I don't feel like I have to like look at her like, okay, you can marry her, but I got my eyes on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That is true. Granted that I never knew when we weren't in touch when you were with your ex, but with Jessica, it fits.
Yeah.
It fits. Just to put it simply.
Yeah. That's how I feel in my heart, is that in this relationship.
We getting all emotional on this
episode. Yeah, we are.
I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of tearing up a little bit. But yeah, I just feel like it fits with her, like everything. And I feel like everything that I've been waiting for in my past, everything that I've told myself that something better is coming. God has something planned for me. It finally has arrived with her.
It sounds cheesy, but like all the trials and tribulations.
Yeah, all the trials and tribulations, all the heartache and all the pain. All of these. What they say? This broken road has led me straight to her.
I mean, I was about to say that, but in a totally
he's
different
pulling all
way.
the Rascal Flats now.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to keep this short. I think, and horrible it is to say, or messed up it is to say, I think getting your heart broke is probably one of the best things.
Yeah, it's one of the best things that ever happened to you.
Yeah.
It may seem like the worst thing at the time, but you will never understand yourself as a person. You'll never become the person that you want to be, and I think you'll never even find the person who you want to find until you get your heart broken. At least, maybe to me, I think even a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, trust me, I don't want to go through that again. No.
But you did though. I mean, like your marriage fell through.
But what I'm saying is,
you had a significant relationship before that.
Yeah, I did.
That took a toll on you.
See, but remember, episode long time ago when we first started, I was saying how every relationship I kind of narrow it down a little more. Mm-hmm. And some people were saying I was wrong for saying that, but it's true. Like, I've gotten my heart broke twice. You know what I'm saying? Like hard broke. You know what I'm saying? Because when my ex fiance, even though I broke up with her, it hurt me to break up with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when my ex wife left me, that killed me. So now I know what I'm looking for. I know exactly what I'm not compromising for anymore. Because at this point, I'm like, okay, either it's going to be for real we're in it, or let's just not even play this game with each other. Right.
And I think that right there even ties into a past episode we had, with a previous host that we had, when we were talking about standards. Our standards are based off of the failures that we went through in our past relationships. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So since we've been through those failures, we cannot go into a new relationship, you know what I'm saying, then just settle for anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We have to filter out, all that bullshit, because we know what that bullshit entails.
That's true. I will say this though, if I can say one last thing. I as much because I hopefully when I was talking, I've given kind of some pros about my ex and some negative about my ex, and you can understand why we went down that road. It's not that she was, and I always tell people all the time, I don't think by herself she's a bad person. I damn sure think she's a great, you know, in the military. I'm not gonna narrow it down so people don't go out and find her, you know. And I think she, you know, I think she's actually a nice person. I just think when it came to marriage, she didn't know how to not break me. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So, but I do appreciate for the fact that she was able to let go, because I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I would have still been married. Still probably would have been miserable because I couldn't let go. She was able, how harsh it was to cut the tie. So for that, I appreciate. But I'm still not gonna lie. I'm still waiting on that serious paper cut to come through for her. Yeah, that's all I need, just to show karma's real. And if we see each other across the bar on some, you know, the Dark Knight Rises situation, and she's sitting drinking coffee, I'm not gonna nod at her. I'm probably gonna turn my chair around.
Or stick up the middle finger. Like, fuck you, bitch. All right. But any final thoughts, Bryce?
I want to say something deep and meaningful, but I don't know.
Say it. So we already got mushy as hell in this episode.
We did.
No, I mean, I don't know what it would be.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got anything?
I just want to say thank you to both of you guys, just for being friends and talking me through, or giving me the advice about marriage, because I know I'm gonna get myself into something, and you know, I'm totally looking forward to it though.
Nah,
you know?
Josh is perfect.
I wish we would have gave you more. I wish we would have gave you more pros. Though. I wish I would have gave you more pros rather than
no, because I can learn more from your failures than I think from your rises. You know what I'm saying? So to see what you guys are going through, I know what not to do, and I know, you know, the variations, you know, and approach that you guys are taking, you have took in your past relationships, and that you're going to take in your new relationships. I know, you know, how to handle that.
And we ended a lot more positive than we started, and especially, you know, I mean, when we were talking about, you know, our approval of your fiance, of course. Not that, you know, that's everything, but I like to think it's something.
So this is basically y'all giving me away.
Oh my God, it is.
I know. I mean, you know,
He's all grown up.
I know, right? No, I mean, we care, you know, and that's the only reason why I would say stuff as deep as I do. I mean, yeah, now it's on the internet, so I mean, if someone, but I'm also the type of person that if my trials help you out, so be it. Now, I hope no one goes and tries to find my ex and tell her that she's a piece of shit or some shit like that. Like I said, I don't think she's a bad person. I really don't.
He doesn't think that.
Yeah, but I will understand your sentiments, and I understand that you know, it's different for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you won't see us on Facebook eating cake.
Yeah.
If you do, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you right now.
All right.
Well, we thank you all for viewing. Any thoughts, any comments, any angry responses, feel free to email us, hit us up on Facebook, comments on YouTube.
Yeah, please let us know. You can hit me up at Jared Tater B White. I have a Twitter. I don't know what it is. I think it's Tater B. I think it's Tater B. Then I have an Instagram that says
He's
Tater
horrible
Eureka.
at selling himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. I'm not good at this.
He's a failure at the plugs.
Just know, if you want to debate, I'm on Facebook.
Or just comment on YouTube, SoundCloud, or email all of us at takeoff.anytimepc@gmail.com. But this is a wrap for this episode. We appreciate everybody for fucking with us and for listening to us. And if you don't fuck with us, oh well. Thank you. It'd be easy, and we out.
Please don't play Frankenstein.